Howdy, friends and neighbors. This is K.R. Wood again. I want to thank you all for all your generosity on our benefit concert with Michael Martin Murphy. First of all, I want to thank Murph and James, Michael Martin Murphy, James Hodkin, who edited and did all the work, bless his heart, and all the artists that participated. I could just go on and on with just Gary P. Nunn, R.W. Hampton, Kristen Harris, Haley Sandos, Mickey Daniel, let's see, John Clayton Reed, just to name a few. I mean, I could keep on going. Andy Hedges, Doug Moorland, and I'm sure leaving some, like Travis Fiddlers, everybody, y'all are awesome. Thank you so much. Can't thank you enough. Ross Holmes. Who else? I'm leaving some people out, but mainly also to Murph and the crew for making this happen. It was successful. We're really great, really excited about going through. I'm kind of on hold with everything. Everybody asks me, they say, KR, how you doing? I tell them. Well, I'm hanging in there like a hair in a biscuit. Yes, a hair in a biscuit, my friend. I knew that I was gonna risk it, but I'm hanging there like a hair in a biscuit. Yes, sir. I keep hanging on, yes, hanging on like a hair in a biscuit. We keep hanging on and sing this silly song, 'cause I'm hanging in there like a hair in a biscuit. I'm hanging in there like a hair in a biscuit. Yeehaw! Well, a little song to share with you, a little humor. On a lighter note today, it's March 4th. 185 years ago in the town of San Antonio at the mission, the Alamo, San Antonio de Bayar, 2 days away from the final assault. The men were fatigued, worn out. They'd been under continual bombardment for 24 hours with Santa Anna's band and his cannons. And Crockett and McGregor got on the walls and fiddled and played the bagpipes, McGregor did, as long and as loud as they could, until the Mexican band actually shut down and listened. Well, 2 days later, they were getting messages in. Bonham had just got back and said there's no hope coming. The men knew they weren't getting out of there alive. Fannin was not going to make it with his reinforcements. So they were going to sacrifice their lives to buy time for Texas. Time for a country, a new nation to be born, Republic of Texas. 59 delegates earlier this week, on March 2nd, signed the Texas Declaration of Independence at Washington on the Brazos, and the Republic of Texas was born. It's a little bit of a, I'm not going to do this whole song because it takes 13 minutes to sing it, but we could sing part of it. But you can't hardly sing part of this one. From the Marty Robbins hit, written by Paul Francis Weber and Dimitri Tompkin. From the soundtrack of the John Wayne movie, The Alamo, the Ballad, The Alamo. In the southern part of Texas, near the town of San Antonio, there's a fortress all in ruins, all the weeds have overgrown. You may look in vain for crosses, and you'll never find a one. Sometime between the setting and the rising of the sun, you will hear the ghostly bugle, and the men go marching by, and hear 'em as they'll answer to a roll call in the sky. Well, there's Colonel Travis and Davy Crockett and 180 more, Captain Dickinson, Jim Bowie, present and accounted for. Back in 1836, Houston said to Travis, Get some volunteers and go fortify the Alamo. And the men came from Texas and from old Tennessee. They joined up with Travis to fight for the right to be free. They were Indian scouts with squirrel guns, men with muzzle loaders. They stood together, heel and toe, to defend the Alamo. You'll ne'er see your loved ones, Travis told them that day. Those who want, you can leave now. Those who'll fight to the death, let them stay. Well, in the sand he drew a line with his army saber. Out of 189, there was only one that wouldn't cross the line. With his banner a-dancing in the dawn's golden light, Santa Anna came a-prancing on a horse that was dark as the night. Well, he sent an officer to tell young Travis to surrender. Travis answered with a shell and a rousing rebel yell. Santa Anna, he turned scarlet, played the guayo, he roared. I'll show them no quarter, every man will be put to the sword. Now there's 189, we're holding back 5,000. 5 days, 6 days, 8 days, 10. Travis held and they held again. When he sent for replacements for the wounded and lame, the troops that are coming, they never came, never came, never came. Well, twice they charged and they blew recall. Now on that fatal third time, Santa Anna breached the walls and he killed them one and all. Now the bugles, they're all silent. Oh, there's rust on each sword. A small band of soldiers lie asleep in the arms of the Lord. In the southern part of Texas, near the town of San Antonio, like a statue on his pinto, rides a cowboy all alone. Well, he sees the cattle grazing where a century before Santa Anna's guns are blazing, oh, the cannons used to roar. And his eyes get sort of misty and his heart begins to glow. Oh, he'll take his hat off slowly to the men of Alamo, to the 13 days of glory and the siege of the Alamo. Well, let the old men tell the story and let the legend grow and grow of the 13 days of glory and the siege of the Alamo. For they died to give us freedom. That's all we need to know of the 13 days of glory and the siege of the Alamo. Boy, that's a little rough ending there. Remember the Alamo. Don't forget the men and the price that was paid for the freedom that you and I take for granted every day was bought with their precious blood. Remember the Alamo. Come out to Luckenbach March 6th, the day the Alamo fell, and help celebrate Texas history with the Texas Rangers. I'll be there with our band, Doug Moorland, lots of great Texas patriots and historians. Don't forget your Texas history and what is special about it and what is unique about it. We have the best history in the place of any place in the world. I want to dedicate that song and this segue to my dear friend, belated friend, that passed away, Colonel Charlie Yates, Texas Army. Also, he was also in the Mexican Army too at the Battle of San Jacinto many times. But Charlie, we miss you. God bless you. We miss all of our friends and neighbors that have passed on, that love Texas history. And thank you for your time. God bless you. Thank you for your support through this liver transplant campaign. Can't thank you enough. And remember the Alamo.